of gas. What was it?
23 cents. 30
Everything I found, and the internet never lies, was 53 cents a gallon. Hey, what, Steve?
My gas was free because my dad had a gas. I stole it from him.
Okay, here's a good one for you. What was the most popular toy in 1975?
Vibrator.
I didn't.
This is it's a hard one, let me tell you.
All right, let's say Slinky.
No, not a Slinky. It's one that you can get anywhere you want. A pet rock. I know. For 20 bucks you can buy a really nice one. The top grossing movie in North America was Jaws.
Let him guess.
Another one that you've probably seen a lot about lately, the very first episode of Saturday Night Live premiered in October of that year. So that's pretty interesting. Top rated television show.
Guesses first.
Johnny Good.
Oh, come on. We're one big happy family, right? All in the family. There you go. And Welcome Kotter made its debut that year as well. And here's one that's kind of interesting. I didn't realize this as I was going through it, but it's kind of pertinent to what's been going on in the sports world in the last year or so. The first nationally televised women's college basketball game took place in January of that year. And that's big on the scene these days. It was University of Maryland and Immaculata College of Pennsylvania. Now that's one you probably haven't heard of lately. Is that where you went to school, Steve? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, you know what the top selling beer was? Budweiser. Kenny and I drank it all.
And one of the bigger stories that year, the Vietnam War ended in 1975, declared it over. So that was one of the best things that happened in 1975.
We can win now.
And what happened in May of 1975? That's it. The best class ever in LaPorte City graduated in May of 1975, and that's you guys. So give yourself a round of applause. So what I'd like to do right now is just thank the committee that kind of put this whole program together for you. Believe me, we just met a few times through the internet, zooming with each other and talking. The guy that kind of got us together and got us moving here, Mike Hubbard.
Yay, Mike.
Lady that put a lot of
Let me be the judge of that.
the lady that put a lot of the food together up on the plates up there, Lori.
Yay.
Lori Clark, thank you. Sherry Lesh, who is going to come up and talk a little bit, so you'll hear what she's done for you lately. Wendy Riggle has also been behind the scenes doing a lot of work, and myself. So we really appreciate you guys coming. And if you did not get a chance to update your information out in the lobby, please do so that we can get you back here in 4 or 5 years, or 3 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, whatever it takes to get you back here. I know, we don't know if we'll be around here long. Yes? Well, yeah. You in? You in the front running? You're the youngest one here, right? So, you've seen these two composites up here. Sherry, would you like to come up and just tell us what went on? And so I'm going to turn the microphone over to Sherry Lesh, and she can explain what we had done and why.
You're gonna find out.
I brought this to the group right off, I think at our first meeting, only because just as a local person and having, I don't know how many grandkids go through Union, we would see the composites, and typically we would always look when we're at school activities, we would look for various family members. And Jeff's class, it actually is 1969. If you go down the one hall, starting in 1969 to about 1980 was when they went from black and white to color. And obviously those processes were not stable, and they are all fading to oblivion. And we're probably, I don't really remember, do you remember, Jeff, if we're like the fourth or fifth one that has redone their composite, so you can tell who's who's done it and who hasn't. There's one class, I couldn't tell you which one it is. If theirs is going to be pretty much irrecognizable very soon. It's really bad. So anyway, I brought this to the group, and they were all on board. Of course, I lost my screen. Okay. So anyway, I contacted Diane in the superintendent's office and just asked her, what she knew, and she gave me the name of a couple people that had done it, and they were really helpful. Alvin Bauer and his wife Mary, in particular. And so I really followed the path that they went, and I guess I forgot to, does somebody got a composite sitting on the table, the 8x10? Somebody's, is it sitting there, Steve? I meant to grab mine out of my bag and I forgot. This is what I needed. This was the golden ticket to make this happen. They said, find your 8x10 composite that you got and take it to a reproduction place. And so that's what I did, place up in Cedar Falls. And they took this picture and blew it up to this. And pretty amazing. And then they also, I had them, they did a little color correcting on some of it, and then they blended the outside, because I changed the size slightly, only because the frame wasn't good. So my husband was able to cut the frame down so I could make it a little smaller, so he had a little bit of wood to work with, and he cut the frame down so we didn't have to buy a new frame, and go through all of that. We did have to cut the plexiglass down. But that's how it happened, and it was about $130 is all. So not, in the scheme of things, not horribly expensive. And yeah, and I thought they did a wonderful job. Less than 2 week turnaround time. They were wonderful to deal with. And so any questions? Yeah, that's the original frame. Yes, and it's going back on the school. It hasn't been hung yet, because I was there at graduation and I got a little concerned because I went looking for it right away, and here the spot was blank, and I go, oh. So I called Diane and I said, okay, did we not do the hanger right, or is there something not right on the back that you can't hang it? And she just shook her head and said, no, it has nothing to do with you. They had lost a janitor with graduation. They just didn't get it hung. So it is supposedly supposed to be rehung this summer. And so you can see the original one. I don't want to keep the original one. If somebody wants it, yeah, let me know, but I really won't, I won't be keeping the original one, and you're welcome to take your picture off if you want or whatever. I don't. Any questions? But that was really the process I went through, and it was very painless once I had this.
Good.
Ooh, still
Thanks,
crying.
Ray. Thank you.
What?
Hi, I'm Tom Peach.
Yes.
Say, Mr. Sharp, because I didn't get class pictures taken, put me up against a brick wall and then shot my picture. Is that in there?
Well, if it was on the
You're right there.
original, yeah, you're in there.
So
Middle.
I got the original brick wall, the whole bit. So,
It's just like it would have been on this composite. If you're on this composite, then you're there.
I've never looked at it.
Yeah, you're right there.
You get up here and get your picture taken. So, any other questions? But that was how it was, and it was pretty easy and painless, and it was a fun project to work on.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sherry. So, yeah, I think it's a great job. I mean, you can really, even from a distance, you can see the difference between those two composites and how much better that looks. We couldn't change to make us look any better, but the pictures look way better than they did before. We appreciate that. You may have seen another composite out in the lobby when you came in, kind of remembering those who are not with us anymore. And I thought I'd just walk through those if you didn't have a chance to stop and see that. And I think it's been up here, good timing there, I guess. Randy Hardy, Chuck Siemens, Dwayne Silk, Scott Volschow, Deb McFarland, Mark Westendorf, Greg Claybaugh, Scott Crew, Sue Hogard, Terry Hart, Bob Kraft, and Rodney Lush. And, we just kind of remember them because they've left us. And so just think of them when you have a chance. So one of those on that list that I just read through was Terry Hart. And if I could have Wendy Riggle come up here. Did Wendy take off?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Somebody's bothering Tammy.
Oh, no way. There was Gavin going on? Come
Yeah, there
on.
was. We weren't listening.
Knew we should have separated you guys again.
Okay, so most of you saw the announcement about Terry Hart. When Terry passed away in October 29th of 2015, she was the last of her immediate family, and there was not enough money to get a headstone for her. So she was buried out at the cemetery here in Porte, but there is no headstone. So actually Sherry, I'm going to give her credit, Sherry Lesh came up with the idea that maybe the class could donate money and maybe we'd get enough to do a headstone. And when we put that challenge out to you guys stepped up again, along with community members. We had a couple former teachers, even people from the community that maybe were in the classes around ours that don't even live here anymore sent money. So it was a huge success. I went to Blackhawk Memorial, I think is the name of them, which is where the cemetery board suggested I went. And they were a little bit cheaper than a couple that I checked. And so the total cost, I believe, we won't know until they actually give us the quote. You have to put half the money down for them to go ahead with it. But the total cost, originally we thought we might have to get a flat stone because, depending on how much money we collected, but we got enough. We could do a slant one like the rest of her family members. And that cost, I think, is close to $2,325. And we went above and beyond that dollar amount, and we have about another $600-ish left to do something with. So I let the committee know, and I'm like, what do we want to do? And we said, you know what, it should be up to the classmates. So I think there's been some suggestions. There's a brick campaign in front of the museum that we may be able to buy a brick for, maybe not. I'm not sure exactly how much those were. There were benches around town that we could do in memory of Terry. I thought of the other night a scholarship. So I want to open the floor for other suggestions. Another thought would be, we might have another classmate that this would happen to. And, you know, we could put in an account and see how, you know, see if we would need to step up again. So I'm opening the floor. What are your suggestions? Or what do you like of those suggestions?
Something, something for sports, because nothing made Terry happier than the rent.
So something for sports, because we know
Or
Terry
in the
was,
gym or whatever, even though it's 2 schools now, but that's my suggestion.
anybody got an idea on how what we would want to do there?
Black? Oh, and back to your original, sure that price of your headstone includes the letters?
Yes, it does. The engraving, it includes the slanted stone, it includes the cement that it lays on underneath, and the permit for the cemetery
Can we
association.
get a 2 for price and get it down even more? I'll get another one for me.
I'm not sure about that. And the other thing is, so when I went up there and talked to the gal at Black Hawk Memorial, it's kind of difficult to, because we want to recognize the class of 75 and the community members on what we want to put at the bottom, because obviously Terry had no children, blah, 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 should be buried next to her parents, which Terry's story kind of was her brother was killed in a car accident that actually kind of saved Terry. His legs were laying over top of her, so it saved her life and took his, but that's why she was mentally challenged there because of that accident. Her father died of cancer maybe 8 years after. Her mother then died, but Terry was always, you know, an independent person. She worked for Goodwill for some years, and then she worked for the Pizza Hut. They loved her at the Pizza Hut. It was when it was dine-in, and Terry would always bring out the pizzas, or if you needed, she filled the Parmesan cheese and the peppercorns, and actually she's a relation to Jim. Her mother and Jim's father were brother and sister, and we all went up for her 60th birthday party, and the Pizza Hut paid for it because they loved her that much. It was a small group, but they kept bringing pizzas, and they told us everything Terry did good, so. But anyhow, do you want to go ahead and try and figure out what to do, or what do you want to do here?
Yeah.
What about the brick thing up front?
The bricks, do you remember, Mike, how much the bricks were?
I think there was a level for 500, 1,000, and then beyond that. But yeah, we could probably form a group to figure it out.
A committee? That's a great idea.
And these are all great ideas, and because we're still getting money in.
We are.
Even yet today, so we'll know probably in the next few weeks where we're at on that. So yeah, we can pull one together.
Okay. We just put it out on Facebook, and then you could either Venmo me or send me a check or give me cash. And if anybody wants to donate more, I am holding the cash in my house because I'm going to take it up to, you know, put the half down. It will take, if they have the stone on hand, it will take 6 weeks. If they have to order the stone, it will be 3 to 4 months before it will be out there. So are there people that want to be on the committee? Because, you know, we did this class reunion by Zoom. You could have lived in Hawaii. Well, that'd be a little different. 7-hour difference. That might have been tough, but don't have to live in the area. Steve?
Well, I was never contacted, so I didn't know anything about this, so how much are you short?
We're not short at this point.
What if you're gonna add on?
We'll take any donation you'd like to give up to $10,000, Steve. That would be great. We'll count it as a donation.
Herman gave 10,000.
Yeah, Herman. Herman gave.
My driver's got to get
Tell
better.
them where you want to pick it up.
Hey, listen, Herman made the very first donation. I saw him at Harper's in Dyson. And I went to him and I said, hey, Ken, we're going to do this. You got any money? And he opened up his wallet and thumbed through his $1,000 bills or whatever they were. And handed me cash, and I said, well, you know, maybe we should challenge, you know, Hendershot and, you know, whoever else, but I never got around to calling Hendershot. So we'll take whatever kind of money.
I'm in.
Okay. So if you want to donate, just contact me. You can give me cash tonight, a check, or you can Venmo me.
I'm not on Facebook.
You know what, Steve? I can stop at your shop and get your cash. I go right by there a lot. So Did you want to be on the committee though, to decide what to do with it?
Huh?
You want to be on the committee? Oh.
I still work, I didn't retire.
Oh, well, gosh, you know,
I gotta make a little more.
who wants to be on the committee to make the decision? Ken, you want to be on the committee?
When I'm retired, I don't have time.
Well, I guess it will lay back to the reunion committee, but if you want to be on it, come.
Should we just have the reunion?
Yeah. We'll do it. If you want to join on to us, we'd be glad to hear, or if you want to send us ideas. And, you know, we don't do anything for several
Our
months.
photo said that if there did anything, let us know.
Okay. Well, let people know if they, you know,
The guys won't get
they still want to